Joko Widodo's presidency, spanning from 2014 to 2024, brought significant reforms aimed at improving the welfare of Indonesia's low and middle classes. However, a critical evaluation of his policies across 8 key welfare indicators reveals mixed outcomes. Let's break them down one by one. 1. Income. Jokowi achieved a 5% annual economic growth rate, but much of this growth concentrated in urban areas. In rural regions, wage growth lagged, and new jobs were often informal with low wages and poor job security. Programs like the Village Fund did help, but income inequality only improved slightly, with the Gini coefficient dropping from 0.41 to 0.38. Score: 6 out of 10. While improvements were made, they weren't sufficient to significantly uplift the poorest Indonesians. 2. Household expenditure. For low-income families, food accounted for 40% of their household spending, making them highly vulnerable to inflation. Jokowi's programs, such as the non-cash food aid and the family welfare card, provided temporary relief, but inflation and rising food prices outpaced income growth. This left many struggling to keep up with the cost of living. Score: 5.5 out of 10. The policies were well-intentioned, but inflation continued to weigh heavily on the poorest households. 3. Living conditions. Jokowi's 1 Million Houses program aimed to reduce the housing deficit, building over 1.5 million homes. Yet, many of these were in peri-urban or rural areas where job opportunities were scarce. In urban centers, property prices continued to rise, and informal settlements persisted. Score: 6 out of 10. While housing was built, it didn't fully address affordability or urban housing crises. 4. Living facilities. Access to electricity saw significant progress, with 99.5% of households connected by 2024. However, access to clean water and sanitation lagged, especially in rural regions where sanitation infrastructure remained inadequate. Score: 7 out of 10. Electricity access was a success, but water and sanitation infrastructure remained underdeveloped. 5. Family health. Jokowi expanded Indonesia's health insurance system, BPJS Kesehatan, which now covers 82% of the population. Maternal and infant mortality rates improved slightly, but healthcare quality and availability, especially in rural areas, remained uneven. Score: 6.5 out of 10. Although healthcare access improved, service quality and regional disparities in care delivery limited the overall impact. 6. Access to healthcare. Under Jokowi, more Indonesians were covered by health insurance, but long waiting times, underfunded hospitals, and a lack of specialized care were common. In rural areas, access to healthcare remained a significant challenge, with many facing difficulties in receiving timely treatment. Score: 6 out of 10. Coverage expanded, but healthcare access remained unequal, particularly in remote regions. 7. Access to education. Jokowi's Indonesia Smart Card program provided financial assistance to 20 million students, raising secondary school enrollment from 75% to 85%. However, rural areas still lagged, with high dropout rates and poor educational resources. Score: 6.5 out of 10. While access to education improved, the quality of education remained highly uneven, particularly in rural regions. 8. Access to transportation facilities. Jokowi made significant strides in infrastructure, particularly in urban centers, with the development of toll roads, airports, and public transportation networks like Jakarta's MRT and LRT. However, rural areas were still underserved, and travel times remained long for those living in remote regions. Score: 7 out of 10. Urban transportation saw major improvements, but rural infrastructure still lagged behind. Conclusion: Jokowi's presidency made visible progress, particularly in infrastructure and expanding health coverage. However, these gains were uneven, with urban and wealthier regions benefiting more than poorer rural areas. Persistent disparities in income, healthcare, education, and living conditions indicate that while strides were made, they fell short of delivering equitable improvements for all Indonesians. Final score: 6.2 out of 10. Jokowi's legacy is one of ambition, but the benefits weren't always shared equally across society.